My name is Manuel Carrillo. I'm a Director of Recreation and Community Services for the City of Baldwin Park, and it is an honor and pleasure to have everyone here for this day. This is a very special event as we pay tribute to the men and women who have served this country so graciously. At this point, it is my pleasure to introduce the Honorable and Distinguished Mayor of Baldwin Park. Put your hands together for Mr. Manuel Lozano.
Thank you, everyone, for being here on this special day, the 28th anniversary of Veterans Day in the city of Baldwin Park. Before I begin, I want to recognize three individuals that we recognize fallen soldiers in the city of Baldwin Park in the 21st century. The first one, Anastasio Aro Marin, age 21. Second one, Rudy Salas, age 20, and Gabriel Figueroa, age 20. These three individuals sacrificed their life. And today, we must remember them as we have every year. For these individuals, stood for this country. And today, we ourselves are here enjoying in freedom and liberty based on these individuals that gave their lives. So, as mayor, I want to also recognize all those men and women who have fallen in the various wars of this beautiful country. I want to thank them and want to recognize them. And to all the veterans that are here today, thank you for your services. Now, we live in a society where some of us may or may not like the politics coming out of Washington, D.C., but ultimately, at the end of the day, we must remember that we are all Americans and that no one can take the history away from any one of us. America is a multicolored country, and that's what makes it so unique. There's no other country on the planet Earth where you could literally meet up with so many people, with so many cultures, and so many talents. And that's important for us to recognize. So that's why it is important for us not only to celebrate Veterans Day, but to celebrate the various cultures that served in the armed services. It wasn't one color, it was a multicolor soldiers that fought overseas. And unfortunately, the histories don't interpret that. At least I don't recall that when I was growing up, and I'm 60 years old. But it's important for us to be able to acknowledge that we are all Americans and that we stand together in time of war, and that we stand together to be vocal about where we all stand in this beautiful country. So I leave you with a note that, thanking every veteran that is with us here today and also acknowledging those that are no longer with us. On behalf of the City of Baldwin Park, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, at this point, before we go on with the program, I will ask our pastor, Reverend Paul Angel Flores, a PhD, pastor of the Church of the Redeemer, and also a dean over at Azusa Pacific University. How can I forget that? Thank you very much. Sorry about that, Doctor.
Thank you, Mayor. Let's all stand. As a nephew of uncles who are veterans, I welcome your participation in this opportunity today. And as a nephew of an uncle who gave his life in World War II, we always remember those who have gone before us. And today we stand on their shoulders and we remember them, and we are grateful to God for them. Would you join me in prayer? Our gracious and heavenly Father, God of heaven and earth and human beings, we invite your presence into this moment where we remember those who gave their life for our country, for our freedom, for the opportunities that we enjoy here in the United States of America. We're also mindful of our veterans that are with us today and those that have served in the armed forces. We pray that this day, Lord, they feel value, they feel honored, they feel worth for their sacrifice that they gave in crucial times of their life. And we're also mindful today, Lord, of those who continue to serve for our country, those in the armed forces in various branches and various locations in the United States and around the world. May they experience your love. May they experience our support of them. May they experience the peace of God. We pray for family members that are with us today. Lord, may they sense or that spirit, Lord, of appreciation. May they be proud today of those, Lord, that serve in their family. It's in Jesus' wonderful name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Okay, now who's doing this one? The colors. So am I sharing this one, I guess, on my own? I guess so, right?
Yes.
All right, just back me up. All right, thank you. At this point, we're going to now the presentation of colors. So please welcome to the stage the American Legion Burican Post 508. Thank you. Let's give them a great hand. We could have everyone stand, please. All right, let's give them a great hand. Thank you. The Boricans are both. The next item that we have, the next up is our next generation of community leaders. Here to present the Pledge of Allegiance is the Girl Scouts Troop 6414. Thank you.
Gentlemen, please take off your caps. Place your right hand over your heart as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Thank you very much. Let's thank the Girl Scouts. Troop 6414. At this point, for the national anthem, we all have Veronica Torres. Thank you, Veronica.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets reclaim the
You're right. Okay, at this point, Councilmember Alejandra Avila.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. Buenas tardes a todos y bienvenidos a este día tan especial. Welcome to this special day to honor all of our veterans. I'm sure all of you are here because one of you or family member or friends have veterans in the family. I know I have brothers, nephews, uncles, and friends that are veterans. So I honor you. I honor the families. I honor the veterans, the people that have gone away, leave us behind so they can serve us and protect us. So thank you. We are now going to do the 3-volley salute by American Legion, Boracay, Post 508. The 3-volley salute is a ceremonial act performed at military and police funerals as part of the drill and ceremony of the honor of guard. It consists of a rifle party firing blank cartridges into the air 3 times. The custom originates from the European dynastic wars, where the fighting ceased so the dead and wounded could be removed. Then 3 shots were fired into the air to signal that the battle could resume. Okay, so if you have sensitive ears, cover your ears, or children, and they're to your right. Thank you. And now I will introduce Roberto Pacheco. He will be introducing the playing of the cup.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Council Pacheco, and I'll be explaining the playing of the taps. A variation of an earlier bugle call, taps was composed by General Daniel Butterfield of the Union Army during the Civil War. Originally composed to signal lights out, the somber tune became a traditional way to honor service members, eventually becoming a staple at funeral services to honor the extinguishing of a life. Who's going to play taps?
Playing of the taps? Did you do it?
Yeah.
They just did it. Say thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco. At this point, we're going to introduce the dignitaries that are here, and then we'll also ask them to come up as soon as I finish this reading, recognizing. First of all, from the California State Senate, the 22nd Senate District, we have our representative, Ms. Susan Rubio. Senator says Susan Rubio. Thank you. Former city clerk, former council member of the city of Baldwin Park. Also, Blanca Estela Rubio, Assembly Member, 48th District, and I believe we have her rep. Is she here? We have her thank you for being here, Lopez. Veronica Lopez, thank you, the representative. We also have from Board of Supervisors, LA County, Hilda L. Solis, and we have a representative that's with us as well. I believe Jennifer Vallejo. Thank you, Jennifer. Then from the City of Baldwin Park, Vice Mayor Monica Garcia. Councilmember Alejandra Avila. Councilmember Paul C. Hernandez. Then Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco. City Clerk Gina Ayala. And also pay tribute to Maria Contreras, our city treasurer, who's had hip surgery. So we want to wish her speedy recovery. From the Baldwin Park Unified School District, we have Mr. Santos Hernandez Jr. From the Valley County Water District Board of Directors, we have Mr. Javier E. Vargas. Then the Upper San Gabriel Valley Municipal Water District, we have Mr. Al Contreras. Want to thank Al for being here. Just got back from Argentina and Chile. All righty, thank you for making it today in your long flight. From the executive team, we want to thank Manuel Carrillo Jr., Park and Recs. Thank you very much. We have Planning Commissioner. We have Christopher Garduno. Thank you very much. I know. Alrighty, Dorito, that's right. All right, so at this point, I will go ahead and have our state senator, the Honorable Susan Rubio, to come up and conduct her presentation. Let's give her a great hand. Thank you. Senator.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's no secret this is my favorite city. I've been to 7 events this morning, but this is my home. I am your neighbor, and I live here in the city of Baldwin Park. And I used to represent you for 13 years locally, and so haven't missed one yet. And so I hope to be here for many, many years to come. Well, first of all, thank you so much for being here. I used to be a school teacher for 17 years, and I always know what this day represented to my families and my students, and that was a day off to go to the beach and barbecue, right? And so to all the students out there, to all the families, thank you for acknowledging that this day really is a day of reflection, not necessarily a day to barbecue, but really pay tribute to a lot of the men and women who really fought hard to ensure that we can have a day off and that we can be here together. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be here. Another thing I want to reflect on is just on all the families who are here today. As the taps was playing, I recognized and I noticed a few of you crying out in the audience, and it gets really emotional. For some of you that have loved ones that you've lost, my condolences. And those of you that have families still serving overseas or ready to deploy, I know it's a very difficult thing to experience. I happen to also be a member of a military family. My little brother has not come home yet. He's in Germany at this time, and it's been several years since I've seen him. So I do understand the constant worry, the constant wondering if your loved one is okay. So to all the families who have someone either deploying or already overseas, if you are a military family, please stand up. I want to recognize you as well. Please stand up if you have anybody in the military right now, or any branches of the Army or armed forces. Thank you so much for your sacrifice. You also deserve to be honored, because I know it's a big sacrifice, and one of the mothers that I see out in the audience, crying, I know why, because you don't know if your loved one's going to come home. So thank you for allowing us to borrow your loved one to fight for us. And to all the branches of the armed forces, we'd like to also honor you right now. Please, if you served, if you're a veteran, please stand up so that we could honor you. Please stand up. And to those of you that are Marines, I know that you have a birthday. Happy 244th birthday to you. Any Marines out there? There's one over there, one over here. So happy birthday to the Marines as well. Santos, thank you for your service. And last, I will say, I know that a lot of the times we just remember those that we've lost. We remember the sacrifices. But from personal experience, I can tell you, I've spoken to so many members who served many years ago, even recently, who just cannot seem to get over what they witnessed, what they experienced. So the trauma runs deep, and it's really important that we recognize that, because some of our military members are struggling. They're struggling when they come back home. They're struggling to integrate back into our society. And so just be assured that all your representatives, from your Congresswoman to myself to Assemblymember Blanca Rubio, Hilda Solis, all of us collectively are working really hard to ensure that you get what you deserve. No veteran should ever be homeless. No veteran should ever be needing medical attention. No veteran should ever wonder where his next meal is coming from. So please know that every day we're trying to figure out how do we give you what you deserve, and that is the very least we can do for you. Once again, thank you. Thank you for serving. Thank you for allowing me to be here. And today I want to recognize two people. Mayor, may I do it now?
Absolutely.
Yes. I would like to call up Manuel Roberto Salcedo, United States Army, Private Second Class. So he has passed, and we're recognizing the wife and the family members. While they come up, I just want to say, thank you. So this is something so beautiful to witness. I know that we can never repay your sacrifice. We can never repay what you've lost. But thank you for allowing us to be in your presence. For me, this is the greatest honor every year to stand before you. And I'll just share really quickly. Earlier today, I was at a ceremony where it was a group of veterans, about 10 or so, and I introduced myself. And they said to me, "It's an honor to be here with you, Senator." I could not believe they still come home so humble. They're telling me they're honored to be in front of me. And I could only say it is an honor for me to stand here before you. So thank you for your sacrifice.
The senator is going to get a photo with you, okay? You want to get in the middle, Senator? Yeah. All right, thank you. We'll bring you back up again. Oh, what's that? One more second. Oh. Thank you very much. Thank you. We're going to bring you back up after, okay?
Yes, big round of applause. Next, it is my honor to recognize Geronimo Centeno, United States Army Private First Class, and his family. Please welcome and give him a big round of applause. So here's our veteran. Let's give him a big round of applause. I want everyone to know our appreciation.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Senator.
One second. Y para todas las familias que hablan español, discúlpenme, es un placer estar aquí con todos ustedes. Gracias por permitirme decir unas palabras para todos los veteranos, para todas las familias que también sacrifican con sus hermanos, sus hijos, sus tíos. Muchas gracias, es un honor estar aquí, darles el reconocimiento que se merecen. Muchas gracias, que pasen buenas tardes.
All right, thank you very much. At this point, I will bring Councilmember Paul Hernandez. Thank you, Senator, for being here today. It's a special day that I know they have literally many different cities, but you made the opportunity to be here today. Once again, thank our Senator, Susan Rubio. All right, at this point, I will ask Councilmember Paul Hernandez to come up here. He will be reading the three-volley salute, task, which refers to the table. Do you have that paper? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. First and foremost, I want to thank everyone who's here today with us, especially those that brought their young children, so they could recognize and understand the importance of today. So today, on your left-hand side, I'm going to be reading the POW and Missing in Action place setting remembrance. You may notice in this table, here is a place in honor. It is set for one. This table is a way of symbolizing that member of our profession of arms that are missing among our myths. They are commonly called POWs, or missing in action. We call them brothers. They are unable to be with us this afternoon, and so we remember them in this way. This table is set for one. It symbolizes the fertility of a lone individual against many oppressors. The tablecloth is white, for the purity of intentions to respond to their country's call to arms. The single rose, displayed in a vase, reminds us of the families and loved ones, our comrades in arms, who kept faith awaiting the return. The red ribbon, tied so prominently on the vase, as a remnant of the ribbon worn on the lapels and breasts of thousands who bear witness to their unwilling determination to demand a proper accounting for our missing. A slice of lemon on the plate. It is to remind us of their bitter faith. The salt, sprinkled on the table, reminds us of the countless fallen tears shed by their families as they wait. The glass is inverted, for they cannot toast with us today. The chair is empty, for they are not here today. Let us remember, never forget their sacrifice. Remember, all of you who served with them and called them your comrades, who depend on their might and aid and relied on them, for surely they have not forsaken you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Councilman Power. And at this point, we'll bring Vice Mayor Monica Garcia that will read off the first recipient, and we'll have then the state as well follow. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. It is an honor to be here today to stand with you who have served our country, to stand with families who have seen members go off and return and have felt the sorrows and the joys. And so today we really want to honor you. And I agree with Councilmember Paul Hernandez that it does touch my heart to see the different generations that are represented here, from the children all the way to our seniors, because I do remember as a child attending veterans events, and I didn't understand, but it was through the years that I've grown to appreciate what it really means, to serve our country and the sacrifices that come with it. My grandfathers, both grandfathers, served in World War II. They were stationed in Dachau, Germany, and also Rhineland, Germany. And so, the Army is where they served, and it was an important foundation for our family in that it provided for our family. To this day, it provides benefits, to my grandmother, and I had great uncles that served. And so there was so much good that came from serving this country, but there are also a lot of sacrifices, and sacrifices that I see to this day. We see some of the veterans coming back from war or from serving with physical, emotional, and mental traumas. And sometimes we don't recognize that until we are, really up and close. And so today, it's just so important to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, there's really no way that we can express our gratitude for what you as veterans, for what you as family members have done to serve our country and to serve our community. So I do want to say that it is an honor to be here today with all of you. And it's an honor for me to recognize the individual that we're going to call up in just a few seconds. And in fact, why don't you go ahead and make your way up here as I read your bio. We have Private Manuel Roberto Salcedo.
And that's a console to come up.
Oh, okay, thank you. And I'm sorry, but we're recognizing him posthumously. So we would like to ask that his family receive this recognition in his memory. And I'm going to go ahead and read this. Private Manuel Roberto Saucedo was born July 25th, 1938, in Paul Spur, Arizona. He graduated from Douglas High School, class of 1956. When he was 16 years old in the year 1955, Mr. Manuel Roberto Salcedo made his commitment to serve in the Arizona Army National Guard. In September 1961, he had fulfilled his commitment to the Arizona Army National Guard, where he embarked on his journey to serve in the United States Army from September 1958 to September 1961. He successfully completed Non-Commissioned Officers Academy in 1959 with 3rd BG 6th Infantry located in Berlin. That same year, Saucedo also competed with the prestigious Army track and field team that earned him a silver medal in the race walking event. During his service in 1960, Mr. Manuel Roberto Salcedo had also received specialized certification for the Battle Group Communication in Berlin, Germany. Mr. Salcedo also served as the quartermaster, which gave him the responsibility over the barracks, ensuring everyone and everything was up to military standard. Mr. Manuel Roberto Salcedo hit the height of his career guarding the Nazi war criminal Rudolf Hess at Spandau Prison in the British sector of West Berlin, Germany. His family recalls his service to this great nation as an honorable and distinguishing event in his life, rightfully so. Mr. Manuel Roberto Salcedo has honorably discharged August of 1963, honorably discharged August of 1963. Accepting this posthumous award today is his honorable family, the Salcedos. Mr. Salcedo lived a life surrounded by his loved ones, including a 58-year-old marriage to Maria Guadalupe Salcedo, who is here today accompanied by Mr. Salcedo's sister, Juanita Lopez, and Mr. Salcedo's children, Manuel Roberto Salcedo Jr., Rosana Salcedo, Raquel Salcedo, Ricardo Rico Salcedo, Rogelio Salcedo, and Raimundo Salcedo, along with other members of his extended family. Mr. Salcedo and his family are longtime residents of the city of Baldwin Park, and today we also recognize him with a special tree dedication that will live on here at Morgan Park for generations to come. Thank you for your service, Private Manuel Roberto Salcedo, and thank you to the family for just, the sacrifices. And like I said, I can relate. There are traumas that follow with when we see our loved ones, and I'm sure that all of you were there, through his life to help him get through that, and I'm sure that he, loved you even more for it. And we just want to say thank you. We really honor him, and we honor the sacrifices that he made as well as your family. Thank you.
Hold on, but before we do that, hold on. Go ahead. Monica, let's read what's on there. Well, watch yourself. Yeah. All right, before we just. All right, but before we go on, we're going to have the representative, Veronica Lopez, who's representing our state assembly member, Ms. Blanca Rubio. So at this point, Ms. Veronica Lopez, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to first thank each and every one of you out in the audience today for being here today and to help honor some very important individuals, our veterans, but also to you out there, thank you for your sacrifices. So yes, on behalf of Assemblywoman Blanca Rubio, I'm here to honor two individuals. So first one is posthumously presented to the family of Manuel Robert Salcedo in appreciation for your unwavering dedication and commitment to the United States of America. We honor you for your service, your courage, and most of all, we honor you for your sacrifices. On behalf of the California State Legislation and Assemblywoman Blanca Rubio, I salute you and thank you for protecting our freedom. Thank you. Let's just do the other.
We have also Jen. Oh, go ahead.
I'll do it.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll go first this time again. So I also want to honor with heartfelt gratitude presented to U.S. Army Private First Class Jeronimo Centennial. Again, thank you so much for your service.
All right. We'll also bring Jennifer from our supervisor's office come up here and say some words as well and certificates. Jennifer Vallejo.
You know what, Mayor? Maybe she can just recognize Mr. Salcedo, and then when we call up the next
Thank you, everyone. My name is Jennifer Vallejo. I'm Supervisor Hilda Solis's mental health deputy. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, so I want to thank the families and all the veterans here because I know what it's like to deal with pain that you have in your heart because of things you've seen. So I'd like to take this time to acknowledge all of the families and all of the veterans. And on behalf of the supervisor, we'd like to invite you. She's having a Veterans Expo in on July 24th, 2020. It's her 4th Veterans Expo, where families and veterans can come and see the services that are available in the County of LA. So we'd like to invite you as of now. But I also would like to acknowledge the City of Baldwin Park for this beautiful event and also the family here. And so we have it on behalf of the County of Los Angeles and Supervisor Hilda Solis, we thank all of you here. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Oh, okay, all right. Okay, so at this point, we'll take 2 separate photos. So we'll do the first one. Romero, come on up here. We'll take one along with the city council. Let's come up here. Senator, everyone, let's come up here. Let's do one separate. Hold on, we're going to do one separate with you for right now. Okay, so let's get over here and listen. Yeah, Monica. Yeah, come on. Just step up. Right now. You ever seen me? We'll be right over. Okay. All right. Stay in the assembly. Come on up here. Come on up here. Oh. Arredondo, come on up here, sir. Arredondo, he's reading it.
Arredondo, you have one more?
Oh. All right, let's go on up there. Let's do Geronimo real quick.
Were you going to take a picture with the Saucedo family?
Yeah, after. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, over there?
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead.
Okay.
All right, at this point, I'm going to have our city clerk, Ms. Gina Ayala, for Geronimo. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. I, too, am very honored to be here, honoring all the veterans, those who have served, and those who are currently serving. I'm a daughter of a World War II veteran, so I'm very proud to be here along with a niece of 2 World War II veterans. And I have various students I've taught who have served this great country, classmates, and I'm honored to be here with you today. I'm honored to be here to speak about Mr. Geronimo Centeno, who was born in St. Paul, Minnesota, September 30th, 1932, to his father, Carmen Centeno, and mother, Juventina Lopez. At age 10, Geronimo and his family moved to East Los Angeles, California. Private First Class Centeno joined the U.S. Army on December 10th, 1952, after being drafted, where he served during the Korean War until 1954. He was stationed at Site Hanford, a nuclear plant that produced plutonium during the Cold War. While on duty, he was responsible for the protection of the national atomic energy. Mr. Centeno received a National Defense Service Medal for his time in the 83rd Anti-Aircraft Artillery Missile Battalion, A Battery. Mr. Centeno was honorably discharged from active military service and remained on the reserve until 1960. Although he was not called upon to serve in combat, his service was completed with great honor and great pride. As a veteran, Mr. Centeno participated in the International American Legion for over 15 years, where he continued his civic duty at the American Legion in Jalisco, Mexico, home to over 10,000 American citizens that resided near Chapala, Ajijic, and Jocotepec. The American Legion Post number 7 is home to the largest American Legion in the entire country of Mexico. After returning home, he welcomed Geronimo Centeno, Heidi Centeno, and from his second marriage, daughters Evelyn and Geraldine Centeno. Mr. Centeno has remained as an active volunteer for over 10 years at his local church and senior center, where he was a recipient of various civic engagement groups. He enjoys spending his time playing pool here at our own Esther Snyder Community Center in our beautiful city of Baldwin Park and participating at various programs and events. He is a member of our Julia McNeil Senior Center, where he enjoys traveling with other seniors for the trips and tour programs. He shares his all-time favorite destination. He shares with us that his all-time favorite destination is visiting the Sequoia National Park. And I would agree with you, it's beautiful. So join me in thanking Private Jeronimo Centeno for his wonderful service.
Thank you. Come on up here. Thank you, Jeronimo Centeno. I present you with in recognition of your service to our country and dedication to the preservation of freedom and democracy, United States Army 2019 veteran of the ceremony. So thank you on behalf of the City of Baldwin Park. Let's have the council members up here. Do you want to say some words?
Not really what I'm going to say.
You don't want to say nothing?
No. I just want to thank the Lord that He had been patient with me, that I made it back home alive. I'm a little.
All right, let's get our photo.
Let me get in. Let me get in. Slide over. Slide over.
Okay, here we go. All right, thank you very much. Thank you. All right, let me do this other real quick. Thank you. Yes. Yes, yes. With the Salcedo, yes. We're going to have at this point, want to also recognize Mr. Murrieta, also who recently passed. I'm not certain if the son, Rick Murrieta, is here. He's left, and I'll just read. He was born in 1948. He grew up in East Los Angeles, went to El Rancho High School. 3 sisters, only one son. He enlisted in the Army and was in Vietnam from 1967 to 68. 10 offensive, wounded in combat, and received the Purple Heart, and married, in 1969. He was a long-term resident of the city of Baldwin Park from 1972. So we want to be able to share our condolences also to Vietnam vet who passed about 3 months ago, and that's Mr. Murrieta. So our deepest condolences goes out to the family. All right. We also have the Edward Mendoza. Do we have a family here for Edward Mendoza? No. Oh, we do? Okay. All right. Can you come on up? Do we have him here? Let's have him come up here. Have him come up here. Vietnam vet. Actually, I attended his father's his father's funeral, which was about maybe 2 months ago as well. 2 veterans. Alrighty, so we're bringing Edward up here. We're making our way. I'll go ahead and read also Mr. Jesus Sierra Mendoza. He was a World War II veteran. He was part of the private first class in the Army Air Force in 1941 and stationed in Pacific New Guinea. He worked as a loading dock airman. He was in the Army and Air Force for 4 years and was honorably discharged, and that our condolences goes out to this beautiful family as well from Jesse Sierra Mendoza. Thank you. Let's give him a great applause. And as we're bringing down the son, okay, we'll bring him down here. There we go. Here we go. Can we come in through there, Mike? Oh, okay. Here we go. Yeah. Hey, brother. Nice to see you. I know. Nice to see you. Come up here. Our Vietnam veteran, this is Edward Mendoza. He was drafted in LA in the Army in 1966, went to Fort Ord, California. There, went to basic training for 8 weeks. After that, went over to AIT training for another 8 weeks. After those weeks passed on, went to Vietnam in January of 1967. In Vietnam, Also went to Dunkirk, and there went missile unit, I believe, Vietnam in January of 1968. So at this point, I want to thank you for serving our country in Vietnam, and we're recognizing you today on a special day as well. Thank you very much. Vietnam veteran Edward Mendoza. Here, you want to say some words? If you want to say some words, go ahead. That's fine.
Sorry if I get a little emotional. I'd like to thank everyone that's here today. I wanted to honor my uncle, Vietnam veteran. And I also wanted to honor my grandpa, my late grandpa. He passed away this past June, and he's a World War II veteran. I know he'd be very proud to see my uncle up here right now, and I wish he was here, but I know he's in a better place. And I just want to thank all veterans, past and present, for doing what they did and doing right now. I salute you guys all. Thank you very much.
Your grandpa was it 2 months ago?
Back in June.
Yeah, back in June, I attended the World War II veteran that died, your grandfather and your father. And what a privilege it was for me to drive his 1956 or 57 truck. What was that? I think it was a 56.
68.
Oh, it was a 68 Chevy truck throughout Baldwin Park. So thank you very much. And we love you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Let's get our photo. Come on in here. We're going to get our photo. Thank you. All right, so at this point, we're going to have Councilmember Alejandra Avila. Alejandra, come on up here.
Thank you, Mayor. I couldn't miss this opportunity. Just a few weeks ago, my brother-in-law, Colonel Espinosa from the Army, he spoke at a memorial for Corporal Isabel Arredondo Ortiz, and this is very important. He was from El Monte, and I would have honored him today, but it was too short of a notice to bring him, and this is what I learned. Corporal Isabel Arredondo Ortiz, he was born October 1, 1931, and he passed December 2nd, 1950. Corporal Arredondo Ortiz, U.S. Army, 15th AAA W Battalion, Battery D. Army Corporal Isabel Ortiz, also known as Mac, was 19 years old when he was reported missing in action, MIA, December 2nd, 1950, during the Korean War. After almost 69 years of his remains came home. For his leadership and valor, Captain Corporal Ortiz was decorated and awarded for the Purple Heart Medal, Korean Service Medal, Triple Bronze Star, National Defense Service Medal, United Nations Service Medal, Good Conduct Medal, Republic of Korea War Service Medal, Combat Infantry Badge, Republic of Korea Presidential Unit. On August 12, 2019, the Defense POWA MIA Accounting Agency announced that Ortiz was accounted for on August 9, 2019. He will be laid to rest at Riverside National Cemetery. Actually, he was laid to rest October 28th. So again, this is in memory of him, and thank his family. Again, I didn't have time to invite him here because he was just brought home recently. Thank you.
Let's do something for him. Thank you. Alejandra, thank you very much, Councilmember, for bringing that up. All right, so at this point, all right, we're going to be closing, but we're waiting for the parachute demonstration executed by the Golden Stars skydiving team, so that should happen right about 2 o'clock. So, and remind also to New Year's ceremony and a special tree dedication for the posthumous honorees, Manuel, Roberto, Salcedo. So please join us for the tree dedication site at the north side of Morgan Park, so we'll be there. So on behalf of the City of Baldwin Park, I want to thank each and every one of you that are here today. And let's thank our veterans. Thank you. Oh, yes. Yes, Councilmember Ricardo Pacheco will share some words. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. And it's my honor to be here today to celebrate with all of you, the veterans, those that have passed on, those that are currently serving our armed forces today, and those of you that are here with us. You know, all of you have served your country. All of you are serving the country, but your families serve along with you. And I know how much pain it is when they all go away, when they all go. You know, in this country, with all the wars throughout the history of this country, there's more than 1.1 million have died and perished in the different wars that our country has fought. And all these men and women that have fought, who were soldiers for our country, when you bring them home, they're our fathers, our mothers, they're our brothers and sisters, aunts, uncles, they're all of our family, all of our friends. And we should recognize them, that when they're called to serve our country, that they do it with honor and dignity. And that's why we're here today, to celebrate with all of them. You know, today also we look out throughout our cities, and we see a lot of homeless. And within that homeless is our veterans. And a lot of them deserve better. They deserve help to give them, because they're all suffering, and we need to care for them. And in the city of Baldwin Park, we're working with other government agencies to create a transition homes for them that have wraparound services, so that all of them can get the kind of services that they deserve. And quickly, let me just share with you, I know that a lot of us have had our family go to war. You know, I remember, you know, I had my uncle, Sergeant Luis Aguilar, who fought in the Korean War, his son, Luis Aguilar Jr., who served in the Air Force. And the one I remember most is my uncle Vicente. When I was 10 years old, he served in the Vietnam War. And I remember how we all got together at my grandmother's house, and he was going to go off to Vietnam, and how everybody was crying, and we were all praying for him for his safe return home. He served in Vietnam for 2 years in the middle of the worst of the war, 1969 through the 10 Offensive, and all the wars that went on. And he was able to come back. He survived and was able to come back home and have a family. And he had his wife with 2 kids later on when he got married. And he later on didn't die in the war, but he died in a terrible car accident in Mexico. But we remember him today for his wonderful service, just like we remember all the veterans of all the family members of this country. So I just wanted to share that with you. And thank you all for being here. Thank you all for serving your country, those that are here. Can I have all those that are veterans or that are currently serving our country? Can you guys just stand up one more time? We'll give you a big round of applause. All right. Let me sit down. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I'll call back the mayor. Mayor Lozano?
Thank you. Come on up. Anyone want to say some words before we close up? All right. We're going to have the Saucedo family say some words before we close up. Let's have everyone come up. Then we'll get our photo. Come on up. All right, brother. You got it.
Okay.
Your dad would be proud.
Yes. I want to thank everybody, first of all, for this great honor to my family, to my father's service, and being in the community since 1968, I believe. 67, we bought the house. 68. And I just want to thank Mayor Lozano, everybody here on the executive board, the Senator Rubio, and everybody who made this possible, especially all you veterans out there. Hey, without this, we can't do anything free. We'd be under fire right now trying to get this done. But I want to thank all of you. I want to also acknowledge a few of my carpenter brothers that are out there. Hey, you guys, hands up. Guys have been with me when I did one of the hardest things in my life was to give my dad's eulogy. And these guys were with me, and they've always with me. We're a band of brothers. And the city of Baldwin Park is a wonderful place to grow up, and it still is. You could just see by all the growth and everything that's gone on here. And I just want to acknowledge how we're blessed to be brought to this city, and this is the hub of the San Gabriel Valley. But I want to tell you, this is the hub of the world. Okay, things happen right here in Baldwin Park, worldwide. Okay, that's the truth. And all my brothers and sisters are here with me, and I want my sister to say a few words too. Okay, thank you. Yeah, there's 5 boys and 2 girls.
Hello, my name is Raquel, Salcedo, Elizalde. Just want to thank everybody for coming out and recognizing our veterans. You know, I really didn't hear anything about my father as we were growing up, about him being in the Army till the day he got sick and he was in, he was in the emergency room, and there were some ambulance people that were going to take him over to Kaiser Fontana, and they asked him, "Sir, it was Memorial Weekend. Did you serve in the military?" And he said, "Yes, I was in the Army. I was in the National Guard, then I was in the Army." And I started seeing a whole different person come out in him when he started speaking about what he did when he was in the Army. And it made me feel like, wow, I didn't know that part about my dad. But it really made me feel proud. And even to this day, to be here with amongst all of you and those of you who have served for we can have our freedom, I want to give you, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you to you. Thank you to your families. And God bless you.
One more thanks. I want to thank, I see a couple of my football captains out there, Victor Fierro and Dave Murga. Hey, God bless you guys.
My mom's like, where'd I go? Got it? Thank you.
My dad was very inclusive in him being a single father, not a single father, was raised without a father. My grandma took, that special care and really tried her hardest, but, he grew up without a dad, really without that discipline. He got it later on in life from counselors and people who poured into him as he was growing up. So with all that, we were able to learn from just by watching him, and I'm really honored today that the city of Baldwin Park does this for individuals, and my dad happens to be one of those individuals. I know that there's a lot more out there, and with time they'll be here too. This whole place will be lined because this city of Baldwin Park is a great city, and it didn't happen overnight. It's accumulation of generation after generation being here and seeing how things are run and things that work correctly, and that's what's been done here. Here and there, somebody comes up with an idea and pushes that idea forward, and the leaders of the community, like Mayor Lozano, Mike Salas, and all the whole e-board that they have, put that into play, and that becomes reality, and it starts helping others. So we're very honored, and I want to recognize my wife. Thank you, Ruth, for I couldn't be the person I am without having a person behind me the way my mom was behind my dad, and a lot of us model that way, and my brother and their wives, they have the same situation, and we're just mirroring what my dad did and trying to do the same thing. A lot of us didn't serve in the service, but we served somewhere else. I actually didn't serve in the service, but I did fight for this country in the ring against Japan. So that's kind of a way to fight for a country. But anyway, this is a little different. Once again, I want to thank everybody for this day. Pastor Gill, for the great sermon that you gave that day. We're not going to forget a lot of the things. I know I'm leaving out a lot of people, and I realize that. I didn't have anything prepared. My dad's sister's here. I wish, Tia, I wish my Aunt Irma could see this and see what my Nana left behind with you and my Tia Irma and my dad, how she made a difference in lives. Even though she was a single mom, she persevered, worked hard, and passed that on. My aunt is also a hard-working lady, and she has 2 daughters here that do the same thing, and they'll tell you, and they'll show you. They won't tell you, they'll show you by their works. And one of my dad's real good friends, Mr. Santiago's here. They played lots of years of golf. I can go on and stand here for a long time, and I don't want to do that, but thank you. My brother-in-law Lino, Mr. Fish is here. His father and my father grew up in Baldwin Park together. Baldwin Park in Douglas, Arizona together, and his father was one of the first ones that came out here, and he kind of tested the waters, and gave a report back in Arizona that, yeah, you know, it's pretty favorable out here, so come on out. So, you know, a lot of people came from Douglas, and they're right here in La Puente, and Baldwin Park, and Echo Park, Highland Park, East LA, El Monte. Oh, and today my sister Roseanne wasn't able to be here with us, but she's a person that had learned quite a bit. Her hard work and dedication was able to get her a scholarship to the University of Iowa for 2 sports, for track and field hockey. And then when she got there, they told her, you got to pick one. And being that track, she was only ranked 6th in the 400 in the nation, so she ended up saying, you know what, field hockey's where I'm going to be. First year All-American as a freshman, honorable mention. Second year, first team All-American. Junior year, first team All-American. And then in her senior year, I don't know the name of the award. In football, it's called the Heisman. But she was the most decorated NCAA field hockey person her senior year. And that all points back to my dad and my grandma and their hard work and perseverance that we saw. And I don't want to leave the Lord out, because I know all this would not be possible without the Lord. And what greater place for us to be able to enjoy growing and seeing it is right here in Baldwin Park, the hub of the San Gabriel Valley. This is the hub of the world. I said it before and I'll say it again. Thanks to this community. God bless you all for this honor.
Excuse me.
Monica, you want to do it? Monica?
You 3.
That's for Tata Brayden. All right, Nani.
You take them. You could send them to her, man.
All right. That's good. That's good.
Babe, Peppy.
All right, where's the city clerk? Let me get your phone. Danny, you got it?
Yes. Gene, okay.
Oh, mine's like.
Let's go.
Beautiful.
Look over here, please. Got it.
On target. Congratulations, Brad. Here he comes, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ken Lewis with the American flag. Such a patriotic flight heading into Morgan Park Athletic Field. How about a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen?